Newton's Law. Ooh, what you got for me, Peggy?
Boy, we got somebody about to be stacked up against some greats. If it goes down tonight and Oklahoma City Thunder win the NBA Finals, does SGA stack up against some of the quote-unquote legends in the game, all right, and some of the biggest stars? And so we got a list of players. Does this win cement him over some of these players? And we have to start with none other than AI, Allen Iverson.
Ooh, Peggy, you gonna ruffle some feathers.
All right.
You gonna ruffle some feathers. And so basically what you're telling me is if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins the NBA championship tonight, does that allow him a skip of likes of Allen Iverson?
Yes.
Carmelo Anthony?
Yep.
James Harden?
Yes.
Russell Westbrook?
Correct.
I mean, going off of the
Hardware.
going off of how we identify greats, did you win?
Did you win?
Because Allen Iverson never won an NBA championship.
So just to run down Allen Iverson statistics. MVP in 2001. He played, first of all, let's start with 13 years. All right? 13 years in NBA, 9 All-Stars, 1 MVP, Rookie of the Year. He has been, he had 4 scoring titles. Brought his team to the NBA Finals, but lost against the Lakers. He has a crazy repertoire in stats. He's, the 20K point club. His playoff record was 30-6. So even with AI, I know that's a lot of times people even, he's one of the greats, but they can say but he didn't win. He's still in the Hall of Fame, but he didn't win the big one. With him being an MVP and getting to the NBA championship with that type of repertoire, does SGA just jump over AI?
If you asking me, no.
He doesn't.
No,
Why
he
not?
doesn't. Because you have to answer it in a different facet.
Okay.
When you're labeling somebody great, is it only predicated on how many rings that they won? Think about that.
Okay.
Because you got a situation where you have Russell Westbrook, who has now been on multiple teams.
Yep.
He also has been to the NBA Finals. Also has an MVP award.
Yep. Triple-double. He had a historic triple-double run.
James Harden.
Yeah.
You got or let's change it. When you see a guy like Jalen Hurts,
Okay.
talk to me. We mentioned him earlier, Dan Marino. Like, are we putting too much focus on just being able to say, hey, if you win a championship, that automatically propels you and makes you more of a decorated athlete than the guys who may not have had the shrine or the championships, but their impact was felt.
So let me ask you this, and I know we switching from basketball to football. Jalen Hurts. You said something. Jalen Hurts. And we're going to get back to basketball. Now you got Lamar. He won 2 MVPs. Could have won a third one. That was a questionable call this year.
Yes, sir.
Like he should have won it. If Jalen Hurts would have won MVP and the Super Bowl, does that make him better than Lamar?
Yes.
Now, why is it that, but an Allen Iverson, but a SGA isn't better than an Allen Iverson?
Because when you start thinking about body of work, and when you start identifying players who have won MVPs, you don't win an MVP because you're a support player. And dare I disrespect anybody. You're winning an MVP because they're winning because of you.
Correct. Most valuable player.
You see what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson has proven that the Baltimore Ravens have won games because of him. Unfortunately, they have lost games because of him.
Okay.
That's just the game that we play, right? Now, when you start talking about the whole body of work from its inception to revelation, man, I think it will be hard for people to accept to propel SGA over a guy like Allen Iverson, even a guy like Carmelo Anthony, because you got guys who've played for multiple years. Think about a guy like Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like OGs in the game that really like, man, they could go toe to toe with anybody. But if SGA wins the championship tonight, you're gonna have to put some respect on the name. And you're gonna have to be able to bump somebody out the way and say, man, listen, they ain't never won a championship. But it still doesn't stop right there. Because SGA can do all this and then fall off the cliff, and then the eyes just like, oh yeah, that SGA kid.
Yeah, SGA that had a great season.
You see what I'm saying?
And I'm not gonna say this, but I have to say this. Same way for Derrick Rose. Injuries. He was supposed to be, he's the next up and coming. MVP, balled out, fell off. Obviously because of the injuries. So when you saying these names, I want to go down a list of names. I'm going to give you a few stats, and you tell me if SGA wins tonight, does he propel over these people? All right? So first off, we have Dwayne Wade, 16 years in the NBA.
No.
Then just I don't even need a running back.
No.
All right. Cool. No. So 3 titles, 1 MVP, 1 Finals MVP, Dwayne Wade. He's still going to be over Shai. Next up, we got James Harden. 1 MVP, 3 scoring titles.
Yes.
10 All-Stars. So SGA would be more valuable than James Harden. He'll be
more of a decorated athlete
than
more of a decorated basketball player than that person.
Okay, than James Harden. All right. Next we have Russell Westbrook. 1 NBA MVP. Like I said, he had a historic triple-double, historic run, 2 scoring titles, 3 assist titles. He made it deep in the playoffs, never came up.
I would say, and this hurts me to say it, but yes. And I rock with Russ. But if we're going off of body of work, and granted, Russ been doing this for a long time.
25K.
But if we're comparing impact, because when I think about SGA, there's nothing glaring that he's just a fundamentalist.
Yeah.
He's a mid-grade assassin.
Yeah.
He just does everything right. And the boy is composed. He ain't like, bro, you just dropped 40. You just dropped 30. And he's just so composed at the line. He going to go to the line.
Yeah.
And we're watching the NBA Finals of what they said to be 2 teams that have nobody. You dig what I'm saying?
Well, yes, they don't have a strong support.
They don't have personality. That's what I mean about nobody. That's not to say that they don't have talent.
Ballers,
and dare I say nobodies. I mean, let me reword that. This is an NBA Finals that we've seen both teams not have no personality.
Big branding.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got the MVP, the league's MVP in SGA going against Halliburton.
What the hell?
And we talk more about Halliburton's extras, dad, girlfriend, more than
game-winning shots in some places.
Yeah, but it's that also has matched. You know how much we talk about him as well too.
For sure.
So there are not mentioned those glaring, points, but when you compare just the whole body, it's a little too early to crown SGA, not to say that we're seeing greatness or we're witnessing greatness right before our eyes.
So Westbrook, is he over or under?
He'll be over Westbrook.
Okay. All right, we already talked about AI. AI will still reign supreme.
Yes, because now the AI, and this is what you have to think about too. AI changed the game culturally.
Okay. That
I don't think too many athletes will be able to do. Now, going back to SGA, unlike like a Steph Curry, like, bro, this dude is even with Derrick Rose. Like, Derrick Rose was so explosive. Russell Westbrook was so explosive. James Harden was just a scoring assassin. Like, all these different Carmelo, like, bro. T-Mac. Who else you got?
So we got Melo. Speaking of the Melo fellow, no MVPs, no finals. I mean, he has a couple of, gold medals. Very strong career in regards to scoring. Does he?
Yes.
He trumps Melo.
Yes.
If he wins tonight.
Yes.
Wow. And then as you have, SGA with his current stats, he was number 1 in the NBA with 32.7 points this season.
And let me put a disclaimer out there too, bro. Like, I know nothing about basketball just from a typical fan. But if we're going off of the narrative that
The hardware.
Winning rings supersedes everything. And here's a list of players who have been extremely impactful with their talent that they brought to the game of basketball. But as I've always said, sports has so many different determining factors, and it's not just to be gauged off of the rings that you amass. You see what I'm saying? Because you could be one of those guys on the team that be like, oh, you won a championship with that team? You was just a guy.
Yeah.
Or you could take the road like a Carmelo who's like, bro, like he's been in them games or was extremely close. You see a guy like AI who had one of the most impactful step overs.
Oh my goodness. Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And it's just the luck of the draw. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to be a Steph Curry. Everybody's not going to be a LeBron James. Everybody's not going to be a Tom Brady, bro. So when questions are asked back to me, and I remember Stephen A. asked me, is like, would I trade in my MVP for a Super Bowl? And it goes back to, no, I wouldn't.
Because your impact of the game.
The impact, you got to think about the impact, bro. And you ask other players like Carmelo, like Tracy McGrady, like those guys, or like AI.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, his impact is undeniable.
But it's a little bit different with SGA because his impact shows with an MVP.
That's for sure. That's cool. And he's still young.
Because even if you're doing that, I mean, not even to change it up, but like a Jokic.
Same thing.
Multiple MVPs, championships.
There's no denying his greatness, bro. He has everything to put him in an argument with anybody. Big man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not like a Shaq, because Shaq was extremely dominant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But how many times as fans are we shunning an up-and-comer who can go toe-to-toe with statistics and accolades because of our respect or the impact that somebody had on our life?
Yeah.
We see it all the time with Michael Jordan.
Yeah. How dare you say?
There's so many kids having arguments now, so many guys and gals having arguments now that has never even seen Michael Jordan even play live.
Yeah.
But it was what others said and spoke of his greatness. You know what I'm saying?
The same will be for LeBron.
The same will be for LeBron.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just that. Our respect for somebody could never allow somebody to supersede how they made them feel and how much of a fan that they actually were to that player. Yeah. So when you're saying AI, will AI's greatness be superseded instantly by SGA? A lot of guys will say like, nah, bro, AI was yeah. But you keep going down that list and they'll be like, man, hold on. Are we putting too much on hardware over impact?
Shall see. The game will be good. And you know the conversation is going to be brewing.
Oh, for sure.
Where does he stack in history of the best players?
Ooh, I like how you did that.
Yeah.
As we end things here at 4th and 1, let's end it with one finger. Hey. I said one finger. Can't forget the pinky, and the thumb. All together?
One love.
You dig.
And that's our wrap.